Welcome to the Saucetown Investor Podcast.
The analyticization of everything, as read by your author, Matt Cox. Salt and Straw ice cream has long been an iconic Portland brand. The shop likely has a spot on the Portland Rushmore, if you will, next to Voodoo Donuts, Stumptown Coffee, and I'm open to suggestions on the other one. Despite living in Portland for 7 years, I never paid a whole lot of attention to Salt and Straw for whatever reason. I probably went 2 or 3 times, usually because a date wanted to go. Mid to late 20s Matt was a bit of a health nut when it came to laying off the desserts. Conveniently, my health nut stance did not apply to late night binge drinking at White Owl or at Barrel Room. You'll have to trust me. The science on this one is sound. A few weeks back, my fiance mentioned that a new ice cream spot called Salt and Straw had opened on the upper west side, not far from where we live, here in Manhattan. I got pretty excited and said, "That's Portland," or something like that. She said, "That's wonderful, Matt. Can we go get a cone now?" So we walked the 20 or so blocks to the Straw, and I'm a bit more observant now than the few times I went to Salt and Straw while I lived in Portland. Maybe something about needing to find a blog topic every week. Which, by the way, I have a working notes file in my phone where I jot down potential blog topics as I see them in my day-to-day. So here's a few observations from Salt and Straw. First off, they give you unlimited samples. And I hear you guys, but Matt, I can get unlimited samples anywhere. Sure, but okay, at Salt and Straw, it's not just in a, if you ask me for 5 samples, we will roll our eyes, but ultimately we will give them to you type way. No. The walls of the shop literally advertise and encourage the fact that you can try as many flavors as you want before ordering. Secondly, they have probably 9 to 10 employees working at a given time in a small ice cream shop. This includes one person whose only job is to hold the door open for people leaving and entering. And of course, she greets you on the way in and out. They literally have a door woman like it's Marquee Nightclub or something, except you don't have to slip the bouncer $100 to get in. Another one, everyone knows this part, I think, but they have a bunch of weird, and I mean that in a positive way, and unique flavors that are constantly changing in and out. Black olive brittle and goat cheese and pear and blue cheese stood out for my last visit. And they also, of course, keep the staples such as my beloved cookie dough. The last one, if you're getting 2 scoops, whether a cone or a bowl, the person serving you literally asks which scoop you want on the top or the bottom. So full disclosure, I told them I didn't really mind either way, but it felt like white glove service at an ice cream shop. So here's what would happen to each of these policies if McKinsey came to town. I encourage you guys to read the book. It's literally called When McKinsey Comes to Town, or just run a quick Google search on McKinsey. But here's an author's note for those who don't want to read up.
Hey guys, we're taking a quick break, but before we get back into it, if you're enjoying this episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us to keep bringing you more valuable content. And if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to leave a review. Please, it makes a huge difference. All right, let's get back to it.
McKinsey is a circle jerk of Ivy Leaguers. McKinsey is a business consulting company who focuses on analytics and cutting costs. So what would McKinsey do if they were tasked with efficientizing, if you will, Salt and Straw? Unlimited samples? Are you joking? By capping each customer at 1 sample before making a decision on their order, we can cut leakage by 37% and return that value to shareholders through a special dividend issued at the end of each quarter. 9 to 10 employees at an ice cream shop, and 1 is working the door? What is this, 11 Madison Park? It's a goddamn ice cream shop. Cut it to 5 employees and get rid of the door greeter. And what's the deal with all these weird flavors? Olive oil ice cream? By consolidating to 5 core flavors, we can achieve economies of scale and produce more ice cream for less money. These savings will flow directly to our bottom line. Our price to earnings multiple may even expand by signaling to the market that we are a disciplined operation. And wait, hold on, we're asking people which flavor they want on top or bottom? Who cares? Turn and burn. By removing this question, we can save 5 seconds of time per customer. Multiply that out over 1,500 customers a day and 365 days a year, straight to the bottom line. To be clear, these are theoreticals, but McKinsey has done this exact operation at countless businesses when they go in. Human experience doesn't show up in the data. Vibes don't show up in the spreadsheet. As Jeff Bezos famously said, when the data and anecdotes disagree, the anecdotes are usually right. The anecdotes at Salt and Straw are a bunch of smiling faces and a line out the door. On paper, all of my theoretical McKinsey suggestions play out marvelously from a P&L standpoint. In reality, the whole Salt and Straw brand is built around being an ice cream shop that just looks, feels, and tastes different. It's an experience, and you're a human, not a number. If Straw got rid of all these elements, they're just another ice cream shop. I'd be remiss to not dive into the sports world and my least favorite analytics dweeb on the face of the earth. You guessed it, the one and only Mariners general manager Jerry Dipoto. The man once told us as fans that, quote, the goal is to win 54% of our games every year. After all, the spreadsheet says that if we win 54%, we give ourselves a fighting chance. George Steinbrenner would have smacked the shit out of anyone in the Yankees organization if they said something like that. Do I talk about Dipoto too much in my blogs? I feel like I still reference him less than 54% of the time. In the political world, think of the US economy heading into the 2024 election. The, quote, air quotes, economy was objectively good at a macro level. Stock market at all-time highs, rising wages, low unemployment, etc. And the Dems couldn't wait to tell everyone about it. Just look at the data. I have wide-rimmed glasses, a fancy degree, and would like to tell you all about the latest sentiment survey. The problem? No one lives in the macro. Our lives exist in the micro of our job and our wealth. Or the ice cream scooper who smiled at me and asked about my day. Most people don't own stocks. The factory worker who got laid off because his job was outsourced to China doesn't care what that the data says unemployment is low. That's not his lived experience. I don't have to tell you how that election played out. And don't even get me started on the spreadsheet heroes in the finance world. The Wall Street graveyard is littered with smart people whose spreadsheet told them they had figured out a glitch in the market. One of my favorite finance tropes, or perhaps least favorite, is the good old, we were right, the market was just wrong gibberish. It's the finance equivalent of hanging a banner in the rafters for winning a wild card. Shout out Jerry Dipoto again. I see this effect with both bulls and bears, as I often hear, well, if the Fed hadn't printed money, we would have been right, or some other version of, if not for X, we wouldn't have Y, from market bears who have been calling for financial calamity for 4 administrations now. Would have been right if Fed hadn't printed money. Hang the banner, Chief. I'm sure all your investors are going to love that. As I've previously talked about, the world does not exist in a textbook. At some point, the Revenge of the Nerds era went too far and we forgot that not everything is meant to be optimized. Salt and Straw is a living reminder that much of life is lived in the unnecessary samples, the overstaffed shop, and the ridiculous flavor combinations. The spreadsheet says these things don't matter, but the line out the door says otherwise. We can analyze and spreadsheetify the world all we want. We still live in it as people, not Excel cells. Sometimes the baller move isn't shaving 5 seconds off a transaction, but making humans feel like they matter. The inefficiency is a feature, not a bug. Now give me 2 scoops, the cookie dough and one of your weird flavors. I still don't care which one you put on top. Thank you.
That is a wrap for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Saucetown Investor. If you got value from this, drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts. Did you have a big takeaway? Is there a topic you want to see us cover next time? Is there a guest you want to see interviewed? DMs are open. Business is at Saucetown Properties, and my personal, you can DM me personally, is at The Real Matt Cox 4. We'd also like to ask you kindly to please like and subscribe. You can also follow along with the Saucetown Investor blog. That's mattcox444.substack.com. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, keep investing and stay saucy, Saucetown.